Hello, everybody. How you all doing? Good. Great. This is good. Anyone want to give us a recap of last session? Not a whole lot happened. Alora, what a pleasant surprise. By all means. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. Mm-hmm. And they're just moon maidens. Yes, a red reaver. Mm-hmm. Very well done. A couple of things that I also want to point out. Muri sent a sending spell to someone and got a fun response. And Ross sent a sending spell to her brother, expecting to get no reply, but actually got one. Just take your inspiration. Just take it. And hey, look, my pictures are working, so I can finally show everyone what a Red Reaver looks like. Yeah. I mean, they're dead. They're very dead. But hey, that's what they used to look like. Oh my god. You guys can become a gang. They're called the Cavorson. The Cavorsons. Jesus Christ. And they're called the. You know what? I give up. I give up. I can't even remember the name of our town. Corvosa. I couldn't pronounce the name. The Corvosa Reds. It doesn't even. It's fine. The joke's gone. So we ended last session in a bit of a narrative space as we actually ended it with a message that you all received from Cressida. Kind of an important one, where they requested your help for hitting the Red Mantis and the Grey Maidens where it hurts. If you can, find your way back to Corvosa to help them. They desperately need the help. They denoted that this isn't something that must be done immediately, but there is a window. They don't know how long that window will be. And the party will have to make a choice on what they plan to do. But for the moment, we're going to say that this is dawn of the second day, the day after Marie spent 24 hours. 24 hours and then a rest for night. To consecrate the House of the Moon. And as dawn arises and as all you wake up and feel slightly stronger, like you're playing Oblivion, you see a fairly large tribe of Linqua have made their way and are approaching the Temple of the Moon. Tekrakai and her sisters are up, dressed, and seem to be awaiting them. And as you all kind of gather, Tekrakai will go up to you and say, "We will introduce you to our tribe with honor." She nods and turns around as you all kind of wait the tribe, which is approaching, but it takes a few minutes. Is there anything that anyone would like to do during this time? Okay. The tribe approaches, and it seems to have about 200 or so people in there. And as they approach, they are all carrying and pulling what look to be almost like sleds. There's no horses or pack animals of any kind that you can notice. They are all traveling on foot. They have children, very small children, on their backs, and many of them are pulling what looks to be large sleds that have rolled up tents and supplies and gear. And each and every one of them seems laden down with, again, equipment and gear. And given that they are traveling through a hot desert, many of you can surmise that these are very hardy people, used to the harshness of the environment and the problems and strengths of nomadic life. They stop a little ways away, and Tekrakai and her sisters step forward and kind of motion for you guys to step forward as well. They don't have all the NPCs come, as, a group of 5 or so is less of a problem than like 12. And an older woman who seems very dry and leathery, as if she spent her entire life in the desert, steps forward, and Tekrakai speaks with her quickly in Shawanti. Aras, you would pick up some of it, as it's a low conversation, but basically Tekrakai is quickly explaining that you have aided in clearing out the Temple of the Moon and consecrating it, and that you are seeking to earn the respect of the Shawanti, and also that she vouches for you. The old woman looks at each of you and walks up, and in Shawanti, which Aras only you understand, says, "So, I am told that you have aided our moon maidens in clearing our ancestral temple." She nods. Then she will nod and say, "Then you are welcome to share our fires." And she will say something to the others, and people start dispersing and setting up camp around the House of the Moon. I see. I will send our healer to them. And she will look at one of the Shawanti standing nearby. Actually, she'd probably look at one of the Moon Maidens. And they would rush off to go find the healer. She will nod to each of you and then go about directing the tribe as they begin to set up camp around the circle of the moon. I mean, the House of the Moon. It's clear, obviously, if you've seen from the size of it, the House of the Moon couldn't possibly fit all of these people comfortably. So while a great many do stay within the House of the Moon, there are many more that make tents and make camp outside. Tekrakai would come up to you and say, in broken common, "That went well. Again, thank you for your help. If you wish to speak to Akram, the truth speaker, you will most likely find him in a small white tent towards the back of the tribe. I am sorry I would direct you there myself, but my duties lead me elsewhere." And she bows. "Again, thank you. Thank you so much for your help." She nods and then hurries about her duties. Akram. Mm-hmm. Hang on a second. Sorry. Apparently, OBS decided not to capture any of your audio.
Woo!
Just mine. Well done.
Yay.
And I checked it too beforehand. I might need to find another program or update this or something. So, viewers, I'm sorry. You just missed Alora's lovely recap. Actually, luckily, that's about it. Most of it was just me, which you heard. So, small positives. And then Ross translating for everyone. Yes, my apologies, sister. Please continue.
So she had to, Tekrakai had to leave. The truth speaker's name's Akram, and he's in a small white tent in the back somewhere. So we need to get him to speak for us. But, Okay, yeah, let's go to see Akram.
Was there something you wanted to do first, or?
Amelia, can I speak with you for a second?
She pauses, glances around, and nods. Sure.
Is there any place we can just step off to the side away from other people?
There's an entire desert.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know how many people are like around us.
No. You can definitely get away from the crowds.
Okay. You've spent the most time around Rolth. And you know some stuff about necromancy. What do you think he could have done to have raised my brother? What do you think isn't within his power?
Should I roll a history or an arcana?
Neither.
It's the same.
It's a religion check.
Oh. What?
Mm-hmm. You've never asked Rolth what his actual discipliner was.
Oh, alright.
Here's what you do or don't know. Rolth did have...
Oh, it did. Okay.
Yeah, you rolled. Rolth had some magical skill in necromancy. However, when it comes to raising someone from the dead, Rolth really wasn't the kind of person that rose undead. He was the kind of person that created constructs.
Monsters.
Golems, exactly.
Yeah.
So either they got other help, or maybe they used some other form or method. There are lots of things about Rolth that you never knew because you didn't hang around him that much. Annika...
For a reason.
Yeah, I know. Annika did, but never when he was working, always at home.
And she was bored to tears by his work.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So Amelia thinks about it, kind of shuffles a little bit. Well, I'm not sure, to be honest. Most of his work was more with constructs rather than actually bringing people back. He didn't want to bring people back. He wanted instruments, things that he could puppeteer.
Okay.
Maybe they brought someone else in to do the work, or maybe this was something that I've just never seen him do, but it wasn't really something that he seemed particularly interested in.
Okay. That's... For some ways, that makes me feel better. But, maybe Robin will be able to help more. I don't... I messaged my brother and I didn't expect to get a reply, but I did. And I don't know if I can trust it.
What did you say?
Oh, I just was like, where are you? I hope you're wandering the celestial plane and everything. Are you safe? You know, just like that. General, non-specific. And he said that he was working with the rulers of Corvosa. And that he was in the Dead Warrens. That, remember the temple that we were in? The Shawanti temple in town, in the graveyard?
I remember. Okay. Oh, and he just said that he was working with the rulers? There wasn't any...
Against the rulers of
Against?
Corvosa.
Okay.
Sorry, I meant to say against. Did I say with?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I meant
you're
against.
okay.
I was just like, what?
Against the
Well,
rulers of
shit.
Corvosa. I don't know if I can trust
Roll
him.
initiative.
So real quick, Squee, with sending, it's literally sent to essentially like the soul, the being that you're trying to contact, right? If it was like an empty shell or something, it wouldn't have the same response.
I mean, in a sense, yes. You could raise a body that's a mindless zombie and you would not get a response. In fact, they wouldn't be able to talk back to you. So yes. If it was like, or I guess another way to put it too is like you couldn't make a sending spell to Robin's previous body's owner and get a response because it's not him anymore, it's Robin.
Mm-hmm.
The way I kind of look at it is maybe kind of like a soul, wherever that.
Yeah,
soul
that's
would be.
probably the best way to look at it. It would contact the soul as long as it's on this plane. Well, I mean, and in a living body, yes.
Or it can even.
Well,
across
living or undead, correct. But I
planes.
mean, if they are not dead and their soul is reachable, yes. But to answer your question, yeah, it's very likely it's not some husk or something.
Okay, so because she was able to connect with her brother and get a response, it is more likely than not actually him and not some like
Correct.
controlled version of him.
Correct.
Okay.
Well, I mean, it could be a controlled version of him.
Yeah.
But it is
not
likely
like
him, yes. Controlled or not.
Yeah.
Okay. So most likely the response that she got was genuinely from her brother and not something that someone told him to say.
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
My main concern is whether or not this
Is he essentially a puppet?
No way to tell in a sending spell.
Okay, yeah.
Because, I mean, he could have been reading a script for all you know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, that's what my question was. All right. So she just kind of mulls over the information, and after a bit, she shrugs. There's a lot of factors that we don't really have answers for, or even a vague idea of what's at play. Like you said, we don't even know who or how he was raised, so I would be cautious.
Yeah. We, maybe we should talk to the rest of the group, but I wanted to, ask you first about maybe what Rolth knew. And also, I don't exactly trust my judgment right now.
Why is that?
Because I feel like I should go back to Corvosa. And I feel like that's what everything wants me to do as far as my father and my brother.
Amelia,
You,
go ahead.
everybody just heard, well, I guess it was yet day and a half ago, my father talking about me abandoning Corvosa and needing to go back. So,
Well, the whole reason we're out here in the first place is to save Corvosa. I mean, certainly going back, there's direct things that we can attempt to do, but in the end, this is what we have to. Without the information from the stories, we won't have what we need to save Corvosa in the end.
you're right. Thank you.
She nods and she puts a very gentle hand on Ross's shoulder. It feels like running away because we're far away, but in the end, we're doing what we have to.
Sometimes you have to go around the corner and out the back door just to get to the front.
Blinks a little bit, thinks about it, and then shrugs sure, okay. And then after a moment gives Ross's shoulder a little squeeze. Was there anything else you needed to ask, or?
No, I know how much you struggle with what to do in protecting your sister, so I knew that I would trust your judgment about William.
Oh, okay. She looks a little surprised. Kind of chews on her lower lip for a moment and then just nods, but there's a lot less sureness in it. You can see her shrink a little bit. Yeah, right. Let's get back, shall we?
Yeah. Thanks.
Of course.
Head back to the group.
Okay.
should we go to what's the name? Akram.
Akram. Two things real quick. One, someone roll me a d4, please. Anyone, I don't mind. All right, Ross. Thank you. Thank you very much. Secondly, because it was asked, and I want to point out so everyone knows, Mwiri has not in character shared the information she got from Cressida yet, as that is a big thing to handle narratively. In other words, that is something you definitely should talk about in character.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I was going over the assumption that she had not.
So for narrative sake, Mary, we'll say you got this maybe like a few minutes before the tribe started speaking.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, what are you guys doing? You gonna go find Akram, the truth speaker?
So to Akram's?
Yes. Perhaps after. I think I have some news I think we all need to hear.
All right.
All right.
Yep.
So you guys make your way through the Shawanti camp. Are there any NPCs that you would like to take with you? Obviously, I assume Iso is with Robin or Murray, one of the two. Shala is probably with Rhea, as, you know, I kind of think they like each other. Honestly, I'm just going to put that out there.
Are you sure about them?
No, I'm not. That's why I'm telling you guys and not them, because it'd be a thing. It'd be awkward.
Right.
But is there anyone in particular you want to bring with you?
Who wants to come, DM? Is anybody curious?
I mean, not particularly. Everyone's kind of got their own things to do. If there's anyone that you think should be there, you're more than welcome to take them. But there's no one that's like, ooh, true speaker, let's go.
Bring Van Carlo and finally know the truth.
Robin's gonna make sure Van Carlo's busy.
Yeah, like he's never around. Oh man! So you guys make your way through the tents, and you do come towards the back, and you see one fairly small white tent. And out in front of it sits a young Shawanti, maybe 16 or 17. Seems to be a young boy who is currently looks to be sewing or repairing some form of jerkin or vest, and is wearing all white robes, which is unusual for the Shawanti. Aras, I'd actually like you to roll me a knowledge history check with advantage, because this is not necessarily something you would have heard of.
Okay. History, you said.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, you've never seen a Shawanti wearing all white before. It's very odd, especially since it seems like it'd be really hard to keep clean in the type of life they lead.
Okay.
As you approach, he looks up. Oh.
Actually, as we're going up, Aras is gonna spin around and go, so who wants to be the talker, and I'll just translate.
Did you not want to... I mean, you're more familiar with the formalities and traditions. Wouldn't you want to?
I just feel like, I don't know, this is really important. And sometimes I tend to ramble or say too much. I mean, I can continue. Maybe I'm just comparing myself to when I was with the Schwanzi the last time. I feel like Arlen was a bit more charismatic than I was.
I could help if you'd like.
Thanks. I would appreciate that. Okay.
And I'll go ahead and cast tongues on myself.
Robin will squeeze Ross's shoulder before she goes in and like gives her a stern, "You got this" look.
She gets a pat on the back from the other side, as weird as the same damn thing.
Nice. So you approach, and as you approach, the boy looks up and goes, in Shawanti, "Oh, Shishemik. Oh, I heard about you. How can I help? Oh, I mean," and in broken common, "Hello. How can I be help?"
It's okay. You can speak Shawanti. As he would be able to hear in Shawanti. Or at least understand exactly what she's saying.
Gotcha, you cast tongues.
Mm.
Oh, hi. My name is Visal. Grandson and apprentice of Akram, the Truth Speaker. Welcome to his tent. And he stands up. How may I serve?
May we speak with him? The Truth Speaker.
Oh. Let me see. And he'll turn around and stick his head in the tent. Grandfather? Yes? What? There's people here to speak with you. They're Shemik. What? I'm busy. It seems really important, Grandfather. Fine. He turns around. Of course, you're more than welcome. Oh, and he sees. Quick question. Amelia, is Annika around?
Always.
Gotcha.
Unless Rolf is out.
He would see her for the first time. Oh, and an honored ancestor, and bow. It is a pleasure to have you. Please. And he motions into the tent.
And Ross would be, translating and ushering everybody in.
You go into the tent and you find that there's not a lot of room to sit, but there's some. And you see an old man who is half balding, has a stern face and big bushy eyebrows, sitting there shirtless, brushing his teeth. What? What do you want? I'm busy. I've got things to do.
Is this in common or is it?
I should mention very fluent common.
Oh, fantastic.
I mean, there's an accent there, but you have no trouble understanding him. Grandfather, perhaps if you ask them to sit. What? Oh! Yes, sit, please! And he motions around, like, spits the stick out that he was brushing his teeth with.
Robin finds this place unsanitary and will continue to hold Isolanda, shifting her to the other side and holding her slightly higher than the floor.
And he will look around. So, which one of you
Sorry to bother you, or to... we need a moment of your time.
Yes, everyone does. Who cheated on who? It's best if you just confess first.
What?
No. We're from the city of Corvosa. And... Well... There was a man once named Gadrian, and apparently he found an artifact that was left from when the Shoansi used to inhabit that land before it was taken from them. The Fang of Lolth. And somehow he used this Fang and made a deal with this demigod and amassed an unknown amount of power. And he has killed the queen and taken her place. And as far as I know, I think he's replacing the city guard with Dark Drow, and he intends to reincarnate Lilith in her body.
And when you say her body, do you like motion?
And yes, motion to Isa.
He listens to all of it. That's a hell of a story. Honestly, I'd have trouble believing it. I'd call you a liar if I didn't know better. I'm a truth seeker. I know.
And I mean, I can fill you in on the minor points, but I wanted to...
So you're not here for petty concerns, huh?
No.
And he stands up and starts walking around all of you. And his grandson goes, "And look, grandfather, we have an honored ancestor." He looks over at Annika. "Honored ancestor? My ass! She looks like she's 20. I'm older than she is."
Robin's thing.
And she literally does lean back, hand over chest and blink a little bit, just excuse you. She doesn't say anything, but she gives him the look of what the fuck.
He walks up to Annika and says, "Honored? Not in my tent, not unless you prove it. I've been alive for 80 years. I'm a truth speaker. You'd think they'd honor me. No one likes it when you tell the truth that this husband cheated on that wife, and that's all anyone ever needs me for. So tell me, honored ancestor, what have you done other than die, of course?"
Oh.
And despite his rude voice and tone, his face is very serious and calm.
Robin's looking real irritated right now.
I can imagine.
And he slides Isolanda over to Muri.
Gotcha. Yeah, Mary will take the kid and migrate to the back of the tent.
He's like, "Here, hold this. I might need my hands."
Bitch about to catch them. Oh my god. Oh, Jesus. Annika watches him for a bit. Rolls something. Alright. And after a bit, we'll actually nod over to Amelia and say,
As far as I'm concerned, I've spent both my life and my death protecting her.
He looks over to Amelia, looks back, looks forth, looks back. Sister?
She raises a brow.
Twins.
He stares at Annika for a long time. Good answer. And then walks back. Boy! Leave the tent. Go, shoo, you have chores. And he sits back down, and his grandson stands up, bows, and leaves the tent. And Akram sits back down, like with a sigh, as if, he's old. Ah, family. That's what's worth it. Take my grandson. Shy boy. Not really one for violence. Might have had trouble in the tribe, but call him my apprentice. True speakers don't have apprentices, but give him some pretty white robes and purpose, and all of a sudden, he lifts his fingers up in the air. Everyone respects him. It's amazing. Wouldn't you say?
Who is he looking at when he says that?
Everyone. His eyes are just wandering.
Annika just nods. Protection by association.
Some protection. Oh, everyone values a true speaker. But no one really respects a true speaker. Everyone thinks they want to know what I have to say until I actually say it.
That's actually really true.
Of course it is! I can't lie!
What can we do to enlist your aid in speaking to the Skonqua?
Skonqua?
They're the keepers of the old stories.
Oh! The Sun Shaman!
Yep.
He's an ass. I don't like him. But he does know the histories. So you're trying to what? Get him to tell you the old stories? That would be a difficult task for a non-Shawanti.
We need to find out how they defeated Loth the first time.
And so you're going around trying to earn our respect. Oh, I saw the Thrall Keeper marks. Impressive, I suppose. And you want me to vouch for you? To say that you're telling the truth?
It would be very helpful. Because, I mean, it kind of seems like a pretty tall tale, and I haven't even given you all the details.
He nods.
I mean, if I didn't live it, I'm not sure I'd believe it.
Very well. I'd like to speak to each of you, privately, to assess why you're here and what you're trying to do and whether or not I should help you or not. After all, I fully believe that you believe what you're saying is to be true. You're not lying, but that doesn't mean you're right. And if I am to lend my weight, considerable as it is, to your words, I have to make a judgment call. That's what people don't understand about this job. Truth is a difficult thing. You can be naive and not lying, and how would I ever know the difference between that and the truth? No. Character. Intelligence. And he looks at Annika. Devotion. That's what's more important. So, chop chop. One at a time. I don't care who's first. The rest of you can wait outside. Form a queue if you want. I don't care.
No.
Amelia immediately stands up and starts heading out of the tent.
Ross is like, I'll go first.
Robin follows Amelia, giving a glance to Miri and Iso to make sure they're all.
Yeah, we're good.
All right. I'm going to drag Ross down to the secret room for a minute. We'll be back.
Oh, wow. It's like my first time.
I know. Hi.
Hi.
So everyone files out of the tent. You remain, and he sits there cross-legged staring at you. So, what's your name?
Ross Corvosa.
Aras Corvosa. Interesting.
I used to be known as Arlen.
His eyes widen. Arlen? Thousand Bones girl.
Yes, Arlen Osler. That was a different life.
I thought
A
you
different
were an
body.
elf. Oh, well, that would explain that. So tell me, Aras Corvosa, why are you here?
Because I need to stop Gadrian.
Why?
Because I won't ever be able to live in peace until I do.
Why?
Well, you... At one point in time, I might have told you it was... No matter what I did, I couldn't get away from him. But... that was Arlen's reason. Now... I stay... not... I stay because I can't stand by and see what this person is doing to my city. And no one there is standing up to him. And I can't ask somebody else to stand up to him unless I'm willing to do so myself.
Do you think there's others better qualified for this?
I think there are people that might have more skill, or might have more power, or more experience. But I don't think you would find somebody with more dedication, commitment, and willingness to sacrifice everything to this cause. It's already killed me once.
Good answer. That's it. That's all I needed to know, Aras. Send the next one in, if you would, please, on your way out.
Oh. Okay. That was easy. Alright.
He shrugs. Telling the truth is always easy.
She'll get up and head out of the room.
Just carry, and it's just not happening.
No.
She has to carry him.
So,
Yeah.
So you see Aras leave the tent. What does Aras look like?
A little confused.
That's reassuring.
Robin's gonna pause her. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, as soon as Aras walks out, Amelia just like slowly raises a hand and puts a finger on the side of her nose.
Yeah, Robin looks over. It's like, you alright?
Yeah, I thought he would have asked more questions, or at least asked about why. I don't know the story. details, but okay. I guess he just wanted to know why I'm here.
Seems reasonable. All right. Pats her shoulder.
So, who's next?
Robin puts finger to his nose.
I suppose I could go.
All right.
All right. And Rhea steps into the tent.
Oh, I don't want to do this.
You step into the tent. You see him sitting cross-legged and looks up at you. My, but you wear a lot of armor on a hot day. Please, have a seat.
And she will.
He, winces as you to sit down. Doesn't that scrape? How do you even manage to take care of that?
A lot of buffing out damage.
I can imagine. So, who are you?
I'm Rio Morphia, White Knight of the Lilac Order.
The Lilac Order. Who are they?
We are paladins, based in the Bloodsworn Vale. And mostly we swear an oath of love.
An eyebrow raises. Oh. Well, then I must ask you, Paladin Rio Milfa. What is love?
She raises an eyebrow at him. Well, that's hard to answer. It's different for everyone.
Surely a paladin of the Lilac Order is sworn an oath to love can answer a simple question, complicated as you may find it. What is love?
And she would look at him for a moment, sort of look him over, and nod. Well, for all my understanding, love is appreciation, devotion, dedication, a willingness to give yourself entirely to something or to someone.
He looks at you. And what does it mean to be in love?
To be in love.
You have been in love, haven't you?
I am.
Excellent.
Yes.
Wonderful. So, what is it?
To be in love. It's... And she sort of looks around. It's a desire, in many ways. A desire for the person that you love to have happiness and admiration for them as the individual that they are. A motivation for yourself to be better for them. You're driven for them to be compassionate and generous and to care, and it's a warmth.
He nods. There's like an uncomfortable silence. Oh. Were you expecting confirmation or something? I mean, I was honestly asking. You're an expert, apparently. I've been trying to find it out my entire life. Thought I'd just ask while I had the chance.
Well, I never claimed to be an expert.
Well, your oath is on love. Certainly, you're doing a better job than I am.
I learn more every day. And I'm still growing, and I simply try to do my best.
He nods. Okay, thank you.
She would nod. Right. Thank you. Get up and exit the tent.
Uh-huh.
There's no point.
Uh-oh.
You guys see Rhea exit the tent. How does Rhea look?
A bit confused for a moment just as she exits, but then she nods to herself as if she has some sort of understanding of something.
Mhm.
And just looks over at Shala.
Shala looks a little curious.
She just smiles. Looks over.
Robin puts a finger to his nose.
Who's next?
Amelia and Robin, both with a finger on their nose, looks over at Moiri.
Robin holds his arms out for one arm out for Isolana.
Mary, who does not know what you're doing, just looks between the three of you. Hands over Isolanda, I guess.
Takes Isolana and says, "Good luck." Like she's going on a long journey.
Yeah. All right. Hello.
Hello.
So Murray ducks into the tent, and you see Akram sitting there, cross-legged. And he motions the four in front of him. I don't believe I have ever met one of your kind. Who are you?
Few have. My name is Mary Corvosa. I'm from very far away.
Mary Corvosa. You're the second person that gave a name like that. Corvosa's the town.
Yes. We take the name of the place in which we live. It is a tradition.
I see. And tell me, Murray, why are you here so far out in a desert? Must be terribly uncomfortable with all those feathers.
She takes a breath. Because it is where I need to be.
He kind of shakes his head. Yes, all right, I get it. That is technically an answer, even though it gives me absolutely no information whatsoever. Could you expand upon it? I'm trying to judge your character, not run around in circles.
Ah, is that why we are being asked such a question?
I believe I stated that quite clearly.
Murray's eyes soften at the corners. It has been a long road to get here. I am here because I was asked to be, and I need to be. I have a family to protect. I have a god to obey. I have so many beating hearts who depend on me, and so many I have done wrong in the past.
He looks at you. Like what?
To which question? What's
The
yes?
wrongs you have done in the past.
Oh. To be blind to the evils that live around you.
He looks at you for a long time. Weary, was it?
Correct.
It is very clear to me that your past hurts you, because you keep giving me answers that tell me nothing at all. So, instead of continuing to draw painful questions out of you, agree to answer just one question for me. One question in complete and detailed honesty.
Very well.
Before I ask this question, I should tell you. I am God-touched, some say. Through many years of training and devotion to Desna, I have gained the ability, or inability, to lie. More than that, I can get rare glimpses of truth from others. And I can always tell when someone is lying. And there are many questions that form in my mind that I don't understand the source of or even the details to. But when I look upon you, one question burns in my mind which must be burning in yours. So tell me, weary Corvosa, what will you do if your son is no longer who you thought he was?
That is a difficult question.
The truth is always easy to speak, but the decision to do so can be very hard.
The answer is I don't know. A decision between the lives of hundreds of thousands and the life of one that I created.
Your son threatens the lives of so many.
I don't know. You asked me a question I don't even know the answer to myself. If he is or if he isn't who I remember him as, I will still have to face him.
He stares at you for a very long time. Tell me, Miri, this son of yours back in Corvosa, you see him as family? Direct blood?
Yes.
And those out there, are they your family too?
Yes.
Which family is more important to you? If you had to choose between them, his face grows really dark. Who would you choose?
I would rather die than make that decision.
He smiles. Good answer. Well, That's all I needed. Thank you, Mary Corvosa. If you could, send in the next.
As you wish. She rises and exits the tent.
It's totally fine. Nothing to worry about.
It's
Listen, man, it's fine. That's just where the campaign goes.
You guys, you see Mary exit the tent. What does Mary look like?
Oh, Mary looks bad, y'all.
Damn it.
Yep, Mary looks real bad, y'all.
Bad how?
like in pain or emotionally upset.
Or like, oh shit, I fucked up.
No, just like... Oh, there's a whole lot of grief on that face right now.
Ooh.
Weary, what happened? Are you okay?
I'm alright. I'll be alright.
Robin puts a finger on his nose as he looks at me. Do you want to... And offers Isolanda as a nice, warm, comforting scarf.
Yeah, who looks very worried at Mary.
And Mary very gratefully takes Isolanda and gives her a big hug and puts her face in Isolanda's hair.
Are you alright? Did he...
I'm alright.
Was he mean?
No, dear, he wasn't.
But he upset you. I have a dagger.
I have 6.
No, just difficult questions with no clear answers.
Well, who's next?
Amelia starts to put a finger on her nose and then looks over at Robin and then swears very quietly.
No, as you start to put a finger on your nose and Robin already put one on his, Shala shrugs and walks into the tent. I'm just going to sit down here to make them stew for a little bit as they wonder what the two NPCs talk about. I know what they're talking about, but you guys don't know what they're talking about. It's great. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's totally okay. Just gonna sit here for a second. How you guys doing? You surviving the plague? Is this still out? Is there a plague still going on when this gets out? Maybe? Possibly? Alright, I'm gonna go back up now.
Did you have a
was
good talk
quick,
to Shala, Squee?
Shala walks out of the tent. Looks very contemplative. She walks over to Rhea and hugs her very tightly.
Oh, she hugs her tightly back and just sort of whispers in her ear. How did it go?
He only asked me one question. He only asked me if you loved me. I don't know how he knew. And Rhea, you mentioned, I mean, you know you didn't actually say who.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This is fine. Amelia, get in the tent.
Amelia, let's go.
She very hesitantly inches forward and then peeks her head in and kind of gestures at Annika. Both or one or
That's a decision you have to make, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, let's save time. We'll just do both or one right after another.
Sure, yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
All right. Hang on. You into the tent. Annika kind of flows behind you.
Mm-hmm.
He looks up. Well, I was going to comment on one at a time, but I see that you two are joined at the hip, so to speak. Please have a seat, or float, as you will.
Amelia kind of shuffles around and eventually sits down while Annika floats where she is, kind of looking vaguely amused.
Who are you?
My name is Amelia. Amelia Holden.
Why are you here, Amelia? And before you answer, yes, I know why the group is seeking my aid. Why are you here?
She's quiet for a moment and thinks, and then kind of half glances back at Annika. I suppose I'm here because I'm dying.
What do you mean?
We aren't just joined at the hip. Our souls are bound together. I bound us together. It's more tangled than bound, actually. And it's killing me.
So, to save a little time, he's going to ask for details. Do you tell him?
Yeah. Essentially, unless he stops her, she will tell him the story of the night that Annika died and explain that, her connection to Gadrian and Rolf.
You tell him the story. He sits there motionless the entire time. And then when the story finishes, there is a moment. He stands up. He walks over to you. He wraps arms around you and whispers in your ear, "I am sorry to hear that. I am sorry for the price you must pay."
Cool. Very unexpectedly, she kind of tenses up a little bit, but as soon as he says that, she just kind of starts crying silently and hugs him back.
He will offer a fairly clean, light towel and sit back down. Sit here for a moment. Collect yourself before you go outside. There's no reason for anyone to see us like that, is there?
She nods and wipes her face, trying to be very careful about the makeup.
He will then look at Annika. "I'm old and I'm cranky, and I might be a little insane, but I won't ever not call you honored ancestor again. Might call you zombie, though."
Annika, grins a little bit and nods her head back towards the door. Wrong undead, but sure.
Oh, I'm looking forward to talking to that one. And he kind of grins.
Any questions for me, or?
He looks at you. I already asked you. And I told you already. It was a good answer. I must be getting soft in my old age.
Or maybe just a tiny bit wise.
Nope. Pretty sure that's not it. Just going soft. Always have been a softie for blondes. Are you good, dear? He looks at Amelia.
Amelia, sniffles and nods and tries to double check that her makeup isn't smudged. She'll prestidigitate the cloth and hand it back. Thank you.
He nods. Well, send the next one in, if you would be so kind. And he kind of hesitates. I'd prefer if you didn't, people see me as ornery. I like it that way.
She nods and gives him a very small smile. And she heads out.
Okay.
And before she does,
Mhm.
Annika will turn to him and give a small bow and mouth thank you.
He waves dismissively in a manner of, not necessary.
Mm-hmm.
And also shoo-shoo. Alright.
Listen, when you have a cat, that's just how it is.
Damn.
Oh, this cat can portal through dimensions. If my cat could portal through dimensions, we would be having all kinds of problems too. Or talk.
Are we really
This is
talking about
Mars's
Mars right now?
concept.
Yep, we are.
Oh my god.
So, Amelia walks out with Annika.
Mm-hmm.
What's she look like?
Let me just see if. Oh, she's looking okay. Annika floats out. She just kind of rolls her eyes. Amelia is quiet and fidgety, like normal. I don't know if anyone wants to do a perception or an insight on her.
Hell yeah, I do. Hold on.
Were you down? Did she make it? Or is this fate?
Oh,
Wow, such good rolls. I'm sorry, Robin.
This is my nature.
literally everyone but Robin. It's fairly clear that she cried. Her eyes are a little puffy, and the makeup is very slightly smudged, but not noticeable.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Mary holds an arm out for a hug, balancing Isolanda in the other arm.
Ross will hold out a handkerchief.
Can I roll again with advantage with them doing this? Well, hugging and handing her handkerchiefs means does she have allergies?
I mean, that's up to God, I guess.
Yes, no, sorry, I was muted. Yes, by all means, Robin, that makes perfect sense.
No.
Oh,
She has
Robin,
allergies.
no.
This is my life. It's fine. He's moving
Maybe
on.
a perception would be better.
It's cool. I rolled it. It's fine.
It's still because he sees the handkerchief, but does he grasp what's happening?
What's he gonna do? Roll a 2?
I
Come on, let it go.
Oh, I'm sorry, Robin. Well, next.
He puts a hand on his nose and looks around.
Annika just puts a hand on her hip, raises a brow.
he'll shrug and go for the door, pull the tent aside, and look in at the old man.
Before he goes in, she like puts a hand on his shoulder and says, "Don't fight the old man, would you?"
All right, we'll try not to hit him.
Please don't. We need him to like us.
Or at least vouch for us. So.
Robin will roll his eyes, and he will say, "I'm not very good at this joking thing, am I? All right." Just go in.
Just walk
I
in.
mean, it's Robin, so you know.
Who knows?
Hello.
Oh, hi. Let's do it.
So Robin enters in. You see him sitting cross-legged on the floor. He looks up at you, his face neutral. Please, take a seat, honored ancestor.
Robin looks a little awkward and kind of shuffles his feet at the entrance, being like, people always want to talk to me. Why do people always want to talk? And we'll cross the room and sit down across from him. My friends were kind of, Mary was a little bit upset.
Yes. She doesn't know if she'll be able to kill her son or not. Terrible thing, that.
He nods like, all right, you got a point. All right, let's do this. And he rubs his palms as if they get sweaty on his legs.
Who are you?
Robothraces Fain Tlabar, second son of the House of Fain Tlabar.
That is a name, certainly. But who are you? What do you see yourself as?
Kind of tilts his head. I am a revenant servant of Isolanda.
His eyebrow raises. Isolanda.
Jolts a thumb back. That child.
Ah, the one that they seek to use. I'll be honest with you, Robin. I have no need to ask you any questions. Your character was made known to me the second I saw that bracelet. I'm willing to bet Ashdancer gave it to you.
His eyebrows shoot up a little bit, and he raises the bracelet and kind of tilts around, puffs at the feather, and she's pretty much the nicest person I think I've ever met. And you've spent time with Muri.
Oh, and quite a dish, too.
He smiles and nods. Probably in her younger years, yes. She's got a pleasant beauty about her now.
I imagine so. Tell me, Robin. One of the feathers on your bracelet, when I was a very young lad, a very good friend of mine by the name of Gentle Voice taught me the language that you speak. Is she there?
He'll smile and nod slowly. I believe that could be one of these, and we'll pick through the feathers until one feels right.
I know that it's not really her. I know the terrible things that happened to her. And I was one of the ones that helped convince her to move on. But if you would indulge me, even if it's not really her, I would so love to talk to my friend again. Old people have nothing but regrets of the past.
Robin will watch him for a time and then nod very sternly, and he will activate that and gain the ability to speak a whole lot of languages all at once.
Mm-hmm. In native Shawanti, he will say, I know that you are not Gentle Voice, but you are a whisper, a ghost, a bit of her. Tell me, should I help these people? Would you have?
Oh boy. So he does not know this individual, but knowing what I know, reading it over and seeing this, would it be okay to assume the answer is vastly yes?
Absolutely.
Okay. Then he will close his eyes and try and give himself over to the complete lead to the bracelet and say, trying to feel whatever this individual is, yes. And if possible, would it be possible to channel this individual's friend and just kind of relinquish all of his control as himself as Robin and just let it free talk? Even if it's not him, just to entertain this individual. Robin likes old people too much.
Mm-hmm. And we'll say for the next 10 minutes they spend the time talking. Small talk, basically.
Wonderful. And he will just spend his time trying to express this character and relate to the old man and give him the closest experience to this individual as he could. And after it ends, after the 10 minutes done, Robin will lean across the table and will tap on it twice, make direct eye contact, and state, all of them that are in here and now with me, I can't thank them, but I know I can thank friends of theirs for who they were. And I kind of look forward to joining this. And he kind of moves the bracelet. Anytime you wish to speak to her or me, let us know. We plan on coming back after this whole killing a god mess best we can is done.
He nods. I am what is known as God-touched, Robin, whether I choose it or not. A lifetime of dedication and some instances beyond my control have made it so that I can neither tell a lie, and I can always tell when someone is. And beyond that, when I look at a person, I can see glimpses of truth about them. That is how I knew about Mary's son. You are chaotic, Robin. To be expected of an honored ancestor, I suppose. But I can tell you this. You will gain one more feather on your bracelet before you are done.
Oh man. He pauses and looks down at it and back up and nods. Thank you for that. I'm curious to see who it will be.
He
I
nods.
feel a lot less alone now. Tilts his wrist a little bit.
That is good. It is not good to be alone. Now, if you would be so kind, please continue the mean looks. I have a reputation to keep, after all. If people start thinking that I'm soft, well, anyone's going to come to me with problems. And I'd rather avoid the petty disputes.
He smiles and has a quiet laugh, which he keeps purposely quiet so that no one outside hears, and nods. All right, we will hold each other's demeanor.
Excellent! Now get out of here, zombie! Actually, I should probably go up and say that.
Robin will do a bow as he says that, but let's go up.
Yeah.
And so it would make a few people shift in their seats.
You guys hear from inside the tent, now get out of here, zombie!
Robin comes out with a very dark scowl on his face and looks to you guys and says, well, I didn't hit him.
Annika gives him a very slow clap.
Mary brings Isolanda over and offers her up.
He takes her and winks at her as he takes her.
And Mary pats him gently on the shoulder.
And then you hear from inside the tent. All right, last one. Come now.
Who?
Isolanda.
Oh. What?
Isolanda kind of looks at Robin. I guess I still have to go.
He looks a little bit nervous, but nods and sets her down, boops a kiss on her head, squeezes her hand.
Hey, I'm back here again, just to make them sweat, because it's fun. They don't know what's going on. Obviously, they know I'm probably not saying anything, but they're going to wonder to themselves what the hell is happening in this tent with Isolanda and Akram. And the truth of the matter is, I'm going to let all of you in on a little secret. Akram's a softie. He is a mean, cantankerous old man to the world because everyone wants a truth speaker, and most people don't like the information that he gives them, so he's developed this. But he's really a sweet old man. He's probably just feeding her chocolates. He has nothing to really ask her. She's just a sweet little girl, too innocent to know much about the world anyway. Okay, going back up.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Isolanta walks out of the tent. Looks a little confused. And then walks back over to Robin.
Holds out his arms.
Robin,
Mm-mm.
I almost forgot about this. While they were in the tent, you got flutters of joy. Subtle.
Okay. He feels better. Okay.
And following close behind her, Akram steps out. Now with a leather vest like what you see that he was wearing. Very well. You passed, barely. I'll join you. And truth be told, Linquois relations with the Scornquois have not exactly been the best of late. If I go with you to the Sun Shaman, maybe I can talk to some sense into that old bastard.
Well, we're very glad to have you on our side.
Of course you are. He taps his nose.
Hmm?
Robin continues scowling.
So,
Approximately how long will your tribe remain here?
He shrugs. I don't know. I didn't ask. Why?
Mary cocks her head to look at the rest of the group. We may have a slight detour to make.
Do we?
For what?
Like the rock?
Mary shakes her head. I would prefer this conversation to happen in the mansion, if you don't mind.
You have a mansion and you didn't tell me? You've had me sitting in this tent the whole time?
Do you want to go to our mansion?
It's
We
hot!
got food. Looks to Amelia. Don't you have it? Could you make enough rooms for all of them?
All the Shuanti? Or
I could also take it.
Hold on a second as the DM looks if you can make rooms for all the Shoanti. Holy crap.
I mean, it's a.
There's a limit on it.
Let me take a look. Magnificent mansion. You conjure an extra-dimensional dwelling. The range you choose where it's located.
There's a space limit, but you can bunk them up.
But the space can't exceed 50 cubes, each cube being 10 feet. So, what, 500 feet cubed?
So
That's
500 feet of
huge.
space.
That's huge. Places, furnished, decorated, you choose. Up to 100 people.
So 100 people.
So half the tribe. You could bunk half the tribe. In fact, just putting that out there. You could bunk everyone who's not in the House of the Moon.
Oh.
Because about half the tribe would be in there, and half the tribe would be out.
Assuming they even accept that.
Mm-hmm. Assuming that this is something they would want. It is magic, after all.
I can try and I mean there is a limit, but if we wanted to extend the invitation.
A private conversation first, if I may.
Right. And she like fumbles around for the little mansion.
Robin comments very quietly, "Oh, I'm very ready for this."
So it takes a moment, and she looks like she's really concentrating, just like it genuinely takes her a bit, just like staring at it, and then after a bit, Annika like wraps her arms around Amelia's shoulders and very quietly mumbles to her. And she nods slowly, and the door will appear.
So, out of curiosity, narratively speaking, would you gather the rest of the NPCs as well?
I mean, I would think so.
Yes.
Right, I'm just making sure. I don't want to assume it. So you guys enter the mansion. What does it look like, Amelia? Well, first of all, I should mention as the door opens, Akram would say, "Ha! Well, that ain't no cleric spell."
So yeah, inside the mansion, it's almost shockingly lavished. It kind of looks like what a little kid would probably imagine what a palace would look like. Very fine, like, trims along the walls. There's decorative, like, what is it? The decorative patterns and stuff, like, carved into the walls, and everything is very shiny and bright. There's a lot of gold and silver and things like that. And it's very much like over the top, and as she enters, she like goes very, very red, and it's just kind of like, oh, this is a lot. This is sorry. This is a lot.
Robin slow claps and begins wandering around immediately.
As you walk in, you are greeted by a spectral form of Ilda. It's about time you came home. The real
Robin mutters, "I'm sorry, Mom," as he passes.
The real Ilda raises an eyebrow and looks at Amelia.
Her eyes just go wide, like both her hands are covering her mouth, and she just like looks between spectral mom and actual mom. Annika just like slowly wanders off, just like, I'm not having this conversation.
And Ilda, like, with a half smile, is like, "Oh, so is this how you see me?" And the spectral Ilda says, "Did you expect anything else?" "No, I guess not." And they both just look at Amelia.
I mean, to be fair, Spectral Mom would be decked out.
Very decked out.
Amelia just like fiddles with her fingers, looks between both moms, and then eventually looks at her real mom and says, "Do you like the dress?"
Ilda's face softens from her jibing, and she goes, "It's very nice."
Instant relief.
And Spectre Ilda turns around. "Well, come see what I've cooked. Apparently that's all I'm good for." Walks back into the kitchen.
She like reaches after Spectral Mom, looks back at real mom. No, that's not.
She's grinning again.
Robin
Instant
falls
anxiety
to
again.
give Robin falls to get Isolana something sweet, and as he walks by Amelia's like, "You sure like your hells, don't you?"
Oh man. So question. For the moment, it's just the NPCs. Akram, his grandson, of course, would have come with them, and you. Are you inviting other Shoanti in? Do you want to discuss things first? What are you doing?
I believe the order of operations is discuss current situation, then possibly invite the other Shawanti should they wish.
Yep.
Yep. Sounds good.
Okay, cool.
Maybe we'll get Akram settled in a nice, cool place with some food, and then we'll just go and leave him to wreak havoc amongst our NPCs.
Oh boy.
So you guys walk in. He follows you. You go to the banquet first.
I mean, sure, we can have this conversation over dinner.
Yeah, we're just looking for somewhere to talk. I think that's calm. Ilda Mom is leading that way. There's no harm in following Ilda Mom. There's always.
Mm-hmm. So you all make your way to the banquet, and the whole time Akram's like, "And you better eat first, boy. Make sure it doesn't poison me, and eat good. I don't want you slacking." Gives him like a chair, sits down next to him.
It's not poisoned. We wouldn't do that.
The grandson looks up, suddenly worried.
I mean, it could be.
You don't have any allergies, do you?
His face starts to blanch. Then Akram's just watching.
I was gonna shove a bread roll in the kid's mouth. Better make sure, though.
Oh my god, I love it. I love it. No one actually said anything until all of a sudden, "It's not poisoned, I promise." I mean, he did say eat all the food first, but never even crossed the poor grandson's mind. Oh man. So, you guys have a meal, and while you are eating, please, by all means.
Oh, okay. So Mary sits back in her chair.
Are we wanting to speak in front of the truth speaker?
I mean, he's coming with us, apparently.
Okay.
Yeah, she looks over at him. "I think it will be fine. I received a message from Cressida just before we headed out."
Real quick before you continue, when you say that, I think it'll be fine. He nods. "She's right. She's speaking the truth, I can tell, you know." Just goes back to eating, as if this was the most natural thing in the world to say.
Oh boy. And Mary looks over at him. "Thank you."
Waves a hand dismissively.
What did Cressida have to say?
She wants us back in Corvosa as swiftly as we can get there. Evidently, she has gained a rather unusual ally in the Thieves Guild of Corvosa. Van Carlo, I'm very curious to know what you know about them. She will
Vin
continue.
Carlo's eyebrow raises. Oh,
Yeah.
who?
Did she mention a name?
Yeah, Booley.
Booley. Okay. So she will say, a person by the name of Booley?
Vin Carlo chokes.
Are you alright?
I'm good. I'm fine. Hey, Robin.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember there was one night you and I were out on town doing, he looks around, stuff with masks, and we broke up a bar fight. And I took one of the nice ladies home. Walked her, and he looks at everyone else, walked her home. And then you remember her dad made a certain number of death threats.
You know, I was going through the story until you started talking, and then I was wondering which girl we were talking about and which night that was. Because I think I remember at least every night turning out like this. Is this a specific girl? Can you at least describe her? Or can you not remember what she looked like?
Had the birthmark.
I
Anyway,
remember a particular birthmark.
I mean, there's a prominent birthmark, yeah. And he goes, it's not the important part. The father, big man, bald, kind of fat, lots of rings, made some death threats.
Right.
That's Bully.
Ooh.
Also, I may not have mentioned this part, is the leader of the Thieves Guild of Corvosa.
Robin smiles just really wide to himself and leans back, just like, I'm not part of this.
So,
You're gonna have to deal with this alone, man.
he just kind of leans back. So, if you're asking what I know about him, I know that I should probably stay very far away from him. And just kind of buries his face in a glass of wine.
If you stay far away, you're not gonna meet back up with his daughter. Alright.
He looks at Robin over the rim of the cup, and you just hear mouth over, not worth it.
I will keep that in mind when I meet her.
Damn.
Robin looks suddenly interested.
Mary, watching this happen, puts up a hand. As I was saying, she wants us back as soon as possible. They have, by some means, I'm not sure, something hasn't looked at the spell, come across an opening that would allow us to strike at the Crimson Mantis and, I believe, at the Grey Maidens. It is a limited opportunity, and I think it would be wise to take it.
What does she want us to do exactly?
I assume to go on the warpath, but I would need more details from her. I get the feeling somehow she is well aware that our particular method of operations is not a very stealthy one.
So Murray, you were teaching me how to do that sending spell, and I finally got it to work.
Oh,
I contacted my brother, who, I hoped was maybe on the celestial plane. but apparently he's in the Dead Warrens, working against the rulers of Corvosa.
Ah. The brother you thought was dead. The brother who wrote the notes on the plague. This brother?
The brother that Gadrian and Rolth resurrected from the graveyard. Somehow.
Can we roll a religion check to see if she knows how that might be possible?
And in fact, Zaros is gonna ask Robin.
Well, before that, you wouldn't need to roll a religion check to know that, yes, people can raise dead or cast resurrection, or either of those would work. I mean, that's something that's common knowledge.
Gotcha, okay. So definitely very easily in the realm of possibilities.
Oh, definitely for one by means and money, sure. I mean, there was a time in Corvosa where the imps from the academy had gotten so out of control that the city had actually sacrificed 13 maidens to Asmodeus to stop the plague of the imps. And
that's right, and they just resurrected him right after.
The city was so in an uproar by the deed that the city then paid to have all 13 virgins resurrected.
There are two things that bother me about this. I mean, they resurrected him so long ago. And he just was walking with them out of the graveyard, seemingly of his own volition. So I can't figure out why he would have gone with them willingly. And why... I mean, I know that I just now contacted him, but... I mean, that was so many years ago. Why wouldn't I have known he was... What's he been doing this whole time?
At the very least, he still answers you.
Yeah. I don't trust it, though.
That might be wise. So, are we willing to leave the desert and attend to this matter?
We have those teleport scrolls that Cressida gave us. We could be there and back in however long it would take us to do whatever it was Cressida wanted.
Yes, I'm not sure how long this would take. Something about a bank. Not sure how that's related.
Before we do go, if that's the plan, I'd like to contact my mother about this. Maybe Sebastian.
By all means. Are you asking her to do sending for you?
No, I can do it.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, everyone can do sending. Looks at Amelia and Robin.
So the question remains, when do we go and who goes?
How many can we bring with us?
Are we assuming that multiple people can fit in the bag of holding?
I would like a few more details before we commit to something like this. Would it be possible to get those? For example, a bank. What sort of bank?
Squee, I need help. What's the name of it? It's a vault.
It's called Death Head Vault, and my apologies, I probably should mention, it's not a bank, it's a jail.
Ah, that's right. Okay. What's it called?
Death Head Vault.
Death Head Vault. Okay, so she'll correct herself. Not a bank, a prison. Forgive me. Death Head Vault.
Ross and Amelia, you wouldn't have to roll for this. You know Death Head Vault is where they keep the more dangerous criminals until their time to be beheaded.
Oh, so this is literally death's row.
Basically, yes.
Oh.
Death row, high security death row, if the name is to be believed.
What could Cressida possibly want from someone who's condemned to death? Most of the people there are there for a reason.
Well, I mean, we don't know now. Anybody could be there. Even somebody, I could easily see Gadrian parading as the queen, order the execution of anybody that might have gotten even suspicious. I mean, there had to be noticeable changes.
Ria
Yes,
nods.
like the removal of the Sable Company.
There is further Grey Maiden authority, and Crimson Guard are losing more and more power.
Were the Grey Maidens replaced by the Drow?
She nods.
So, what is the exact assumption of who is at that vault or why we're going?
Well, why don't I ask for you?
Oh.
Any other questions you want her to ask? Who's there? The nature of the opening that they found?
About how long will it take?
There is a hand raised, as Akram's raising his hand while eating, as you're asking for questions.
Yes.
Is he expecting me to call on him?
I guess. He goes,
Yes.
I got a question. So, this whole trying to earn the respect of the Skonqua, what, you're just going to half-ass it?
Would you have us leave our friends in peril?
Yes. If your purpose is important enough. If I understand correctly, and he'll look over to Ross, and I still need the details, of course, you are trying to save the whole city from a dastardly threat, yes?
Yes.
Well, he shrugs. I mean, it's your choice if you want to run around, fighting every battle, doing everything. But tell me, how many days has it been since you got that mark?
2.
Actually, it's been 4.
3.
3.
4?
3 days. Because 1 to
3.
travel to the House of the Moon, and 2 at the House of the Moon.
3 days?
If my memory serves me, it lasts about 7 days. You think you can make it back wherever you're going and then get to the Flame Forward before it disappears?
Robin shakes his head. That's why I feel like we need a few more details before we make such an important decision.
That's also why I want to contact my family. They should at least know something about this if they're working with Cressida.
Ray waves his hand, by all means.
He will nod, and Rhea, before we do that, he'll just say, after all, I don't know what you're talking about. I have very few details. But I can tell you this. You could walk in there with Desna herself blowing up your skirt, and you may not be able to convince the Sun's shaman to heed you. Thrallkeeper Mark is very powerful. Almost as powerful as me. If you want to earn the Shoanti respect, running off in the middle of it is not the best way to do it. you're going to have to decide, I suppose, what's more important.
Yes, well, I would also love to not have an assassin waiting for me every time I turn around.
So you're saying you think they'll listen to us much, much more if we maintain this mark?
He shrugs. Not many Shoanti have ever earned that mark. You're trying
Well?
to prove that you deserve our respect. You might be able to do it without it. I'm not saying that you can't. I'm just saying that if I was going to go into battle, I'd rather not do it with half a quiver full of arrows.
So we need to get back and where we need to go before this and shows it goes away.
He shrugs. The trip to Flameford from here is about 3 days. 2 if you push it, I suppose.
Okay.
Well, we have an idea on a time limit now. Looks to Rhea and looks to Miri.
Moira's looking at Rhea. Ask your family.
How?
Why?
Well, on the list of things that we can do, basically, I mean, recreate a legendary hero's accomplishment, I really don't think is going to happen. Become an enemy's null arrest and survive the trial of the totem.
Between food, you hear Vankala go, kill a bird, I think. No offense, Mary. Big bird. Rock. Kill a rock.
You have to kill Big Bird?
I mean, that is like another way. So the way I see it, I think that the sun trial, or the trial of the totem, should be one of the last things we do. Right? And so
Real quick, what is the trial of the totem again?
we don't know.
It is a
Oh,
grueling trial that you can undertake to help earn the respect of the Skonqua. What it is exactly, you do not know. But you do know that's also where the Sun Shaman lives,
Yeah.
as well
The-
as a few other things of interest.
Also, the Trojan.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think he would consider us his enemy right now? I mean, I know he didn't like us very much, and we are to Shemek. I wonder if there's a way we could get him to respect us, but that's probably not.
We just need to find out if this is going to be a day event or a number of hour event. Nothing's to say we can't journey and go help them when we must and then come back as quickly as possible.
Akram would kind of wave his fork around a bit. I mean, all you have to do is show them that you have the Thrall Keeper mark. It's not like you have to keep it the whole time you're there. Though, I do think it might be considered rude if you show up, show a palm, and then refuse to take the trial or promise to do it later and leave. It just goes back digging into its food.
Damn it.
I think we can scry on the rock, find out where it is. We have 4 different teleportation spells. Scrolls. Can Amelia, you were the one that was going to do the scrying, right?
What? No, she didn't. Like what?
Oh, sorry. Who was doing scrying? I forgot.
I have scrying.
Yeah.
Oh, where are you? And who can do teleport?
Oh, scrolls.
Yeah, the scrolls. Oh, Amelia, who's doing the teleport?
Robin can cast them if they're on scrolls.
Yeah.
Is that a...
Okay.
Forward sorcerer wizard? Yeah. So Robin and Amelia can both cast it.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I technically would also be able to cast it for Bard, unless I have to have that spell slot.
No, you just have to have it in your spell class.
Correct.
Be able
Alright,
to
then
cast
yeah,
it
I can do
eventually.
that.
Okay, so we have a bunch of questions for Cressida and other and Ria's family.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Shala would have. Does Shala have the ability to scry? I'm just trying to think if somebody can scry and teleport.
No, but there is
We can
someone
get
who
the
can
same-
scry.
And also teleport?
I don't know. Give me a second here. I don't think teleport is on the warlock spell list, but I'll check.
It's not.
No, it's not. Mm-mm.
No.
Scry, yes.
Bard,
Teleport, no.
sorcerer, and wizard.
Yeah, scry, yes. Baboon can scry. You can't teleport.
Yeah, that's the problem everybody can do.
If it's a scroll, I can do all the things. It has to be a scroll.
But we don't have any scrying scrolls.
Yeah.
If we are
It's a scrying
considering-
spell. Why do we need a scrying scroll?
So Robin could do it, and he would actually have seen the place, and he could do teleport, and we'd have a higher chance of getting there without any bad stuff happening.
Well, I mean, if we're assuming that Shala is also able to use the UA things for Bard, where you can switch out a spell,
Sure.
she could switch over to scrying and then be able to do that and use the teleport scrolls.
Mm-hmm. You'd have to wait a day.
Yeah.
Are we really that committed to hunting this bird?
Actually, I was thinking Trojan. We could see where the tribe is, and just teleport there. And
What tribe?
Show him the Thrall Keeper mark.
the Skunkwa.
Oh, that's not a problem. That's a permanent settlement, Flameford. Well, not permanent, but semi-permanent. It's a large settlement. You know exactly where it is.
So we go there, we show the mark, we take the trial, we go home, we come back, we finish off a few things.
Well, I mean, we still don't know how long it's going to take.
Mhm.
If this is something that we can do, I doubt it's going to be something quick.
A few hours to, is it going to be a day or is this going to be hours? That's going to be huge.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, on this side, it's just a matter of them setting us up camp and us coming back to it, though. So Robin does not want to take Isolanda back to that city.
Understandable. Yeah.
Yeah.
We could have certain people like actually go ahead, and then we meet them there. Which is why it would make sense for like being able to teleport to the Skunkwa.
That sounds very iffy, splitting the party.
True.
Well, let's get more information on what's going on in Corvosa first, and then we can go from there.
Rhea, do you want to do your sending first?
You can go first. I'm still figuring out some counts.
I mean, hell, if we could get an extra scroll of teleport, we could send someone to talk to Cressida or something and then come back, or whoever is... We could send someone over there, get all the information, have them come back and meet us.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
if we're going back to Corvosa, we might see what we can bring back that might help too.
Mm-hmm.
If we're able to get another one, I can have Rhea can have her mom and maybe Sebastian meet them with Cressida, and she can talk to all three at once.
That would be really, really good. And I mean, I wouldn't mind splitting the party as long as the rest of us, stay smart and stay in a town
Or in the
et cetera.
mansion.
Yeah. Somewhere safe we don't have to deal with things.
I mean, hell, if you guys got enough teleport skills, you teleport to the hunting grounds, get that done, teleport there, get that rock, get that done. I mean, you could get everything done in a day if you just threw teleport scrolls at it. Well, I mean, you might want to rest, but we
got less time now.
champs. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
You're level 12 now. You got this.
What can Baboom even get us? That's another question, Can he get us another scroll or two? Can we look into that? Like, we might be able to accomplish quite a bit.
Okay.
Those costs.
Robin's got money
why
to
don't-
throw at this pay problem.
Yeah, why don't we call him and see what he can do? Because if he can get us enough teleport scrolls that we can just send somebody over there to discuss it, that would be...
So Rhea contact Mom, you contact Baboom, we meet and figure out what the times are. A lot to do.
Maybe we contact Boom first so Rhea can tell her mom.
I'd say we contact him first and get them, if that's even something that we're able to do right now, if he's able to get those for us. And then I'll contact right after and head off.
Okay. Who's contacting Baboom? Like, who has the amulet? Is it a Ross?
Murray had it last.
Murray had it, Ross. That's right.
Did I?
Murray,
Oh, okay.
roll me 2 D100s, please.
She's gonna step out of the mansion to do this.
That's fine.
2D100.
Don't like that.
61-14.
Okay.
We caught him right in the middle of bath time.
you
Jesus.
step out of the mansion and then you contact him. The door opens. Well, actually, here's a question: are you because the amulet can do it 2 ways. You can speak with him, or you can go meet him.
Oh, fucking, no, she just shows up.
Okay, so you go meet him.
Yes.
You see him rearranging one of the shelves. It looks like he's got a new stock of large carpets that he is trying to get on the top shelf. Ah! Mary! Hello, my love. It has been some time. How are you? Oh, I gave them your note. They seem to like it very much. Oh, and the bugs. They liked the bugs.
Excellent. Thank you.
Of course. What do I owe the pleasure?
Oh, complications as always. Do you need help?
What? No, I'm fine. The rugs slip and they'll like fall all around him. Just yeah, a little bit of rearranging.
And she'll come over and start helping. Do you have any more teleportation scrolls?
I believe I sold you the last ones. Why? What is happening? You've not gone through them already, have you?
No, we are trying to divvy up our power in the most conservative way possible, I think.
Pressed for time?
Just for time and distance.
He
Translead
pauses.
us in Corvosa, as we are needed here.
How important is it to you, Mary?
She blinks at him.
These teleportation scrolls, how important are they?
Oh, shit. Okay, hold on.
He's hard to read.
Oh,
He's staring
shit.
at you.
She did that. Yeah, this kind of came out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure yet. I have more questions to ask Cressida before we decide on where our time goes. Why? If you have no more, you have no more.
I have no more. But that does not mean I don't have the ability to acquire some. If the need is great enough.
I see.
And his face looks serious. How great is the need, Murray?
Oh, fuck. I have questions still to ask. Excuse me a moment. She, will step to the side and cast Sending, because, God, now she has to make a decision. We'll cast, Sending to Cressida. So she knows that, this opportunity is only going to last.
You realize if you step outside, you can't go back in, right?
No. She step to the side.
Oh, to the side. Gotcha. Well,
Yes.
sending doesn't go across planes.
Yes, it does.
Does it? No, it doesn't.
Yes. Yes, it does.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, then I must
If
be
it goes
remembering it
to
wrong.
a different plane, I believe there's like a small percentage.
Yeah, you gotta
Oh,
roll a
you know
D20.
what? You know what? This is not the
Yeah.
first time I've made that mistake. You're absolutely right. All right, go ahead.
5% chance the message doesn't arise.
Yeah, so that's what, 1 on a D20?
Yeah, 1 on a d20.
Okay.
Why don't you just roll a D100?
No,
Yeah,
you're
no, we're
fine. You're good.
Sends a message to Cressida. I already know that not this message. Sorry, I'm thinking out loud. We already know that she thinks that we have at least a week, but more would be pushing it, right?
No. What she said was, there's an open door, we don't know when it'll close. The more time it takes, the more chance they'll find this hole and close it.
Okay.
Any real time frame given was very vague. Like, how can you really guess at that?
Okay. So she will contact Cressida. Cressida, dear, do you have any more information you can give me on this open door of yours?
You hear a response. It is a hidden passageway Booley has used. We do not think it is known, as he has used it to smuggle many criminals out over the years.
I guess.
And then he said, and then there's a pause, and then he has already proven it works once.
She will knock down another Sending, yeah. Who are we retrieving and why are they important?
There's like a sense of confusion. You're not retrieving anyone. We need a small, powerful strike force to take this out. The headquarters of both the Red Mantis and the Grey Maidens, to strike them. And then, of course, the message cuts off.
Okay, last 3rd level spell.
Oh boy.
Yeah. You cut off. Continue.
And like this one, the words are much more measured.
Mm-hmm.
We need a small, powerful force to destroy the headquarters of their power structure. We need you.
Am I to assume that the power structure is in this place?
I don't know
Or
what
that
you're
they-
to assume. That's what she
Fuck's
said.
sake, Cressida!
She said the power the power. I'm losing my train of thought.
Okay.
The center of power for the Red Mantis and Grey Maidens in Corvosa.
Okay, we're moving on to level 4 spell slots, Cressida.
Actually, before you cast the level 4 spell, Baboon will put a hand on your shoulder. You are casting many spells. This must be important. Miri, ask me to get the scrolls for you.
She narrows her eyes at him. What would this cost you?
Nothing I'm not willing to pay.
That's not an answer, Baboon.
No, it's not. Ask me to get the scrolls, Mary.
Would it put you in danger?
He grins. No more danger than you face every day.
I am a healer.
And I am Barboom. Do not pity me or look down on me, Marie.
Her eyes soften. Never. Am I not permitted to worry?
Worry all you like. I like it when you worry. But if your need is great enough, you have but to ask.
She takes a deep breath and offers him a hand. Do this for me, and I will do something for you in return.
He clasps the hand. Deal. Give me an hour. Go back to your friends. I will come to you.
She grips his hand and does not let it go. Be careful.
He nods. Keep the amulet close. That is what I'll be using to find you.
Will it work if we're in the mansion, or should I stay outside?
It might be best to stay outside.
Outside it is. And she, squeezes his hand, with the threat of talons. Be careful.
He takes a step back, lets go of your hand, gives a big flourishing bow. Mary, careful is my middle name. 1 hour.
1 hour? I will be waiting.
And
She
he
will
Mhm.
return his bow and step out.
Mhm. And you step back out.
She steps aside, sighs, and digs her knuckles into her eyes. She's got an hour. She'll keep an eye on the time. She steps back into the mansion.
Mm-hmm. So you guys see Mary return after a little bit.
She looks peeved.
Did he not have them, or
He does.
where are they?
1 hour.
So he doesn't have them?
He'll have them in an hour?
Correct.
Why do you seem so upset then?
I also talked to Cressida. Evidently, the object is a small passageway that is, I believe, as of yet unknown to anyone but the Seers Guild. They need, and I am quoting, a task force. Us to, I am assuming, enter this passageway and, if I am correct, destroy possibly the headquarters of the Red Mantis.
Oh. I would say that's fairly important.
If we don't want them waiting for us every time we turn around, yes, I think that's true.
He squeezes Isolanda.
But a task force, I mean, there are still some Crimson Guards, and the majority of my order is there. It has to be us.
Why don't you check on your family, yeah, and make sure that they are all right?
She nods, a little worried now. Probably glance over to Claire if she's sitting around.
Claire goes, "You said you have more teleport scrolls coming in an hour, right? So why don't we go pay them a visit?"
And she'll nod and look at the others and back to Claire. Oh, tell her to bring Sebastian and meet up with Cressida. We'll meet them there.
Claire would nod.
Mary nods. Yes, that might be wise. If they're all in one place, it would probably be easier to teleport them.
And she'll stand. We'll try and be back quickly then.
Claire will stand next to Rhea. Shala will squeeze Rhea's hand and say, "Do you want me to come?" And glances kind of back at Iso and then back to you, kind of torn between the two.
Mary will put a hand on Charlotte's shoulder. I will stay if you want to go. She will be safe.
She'll nod, go over to Isolanda and boop her on the nose. "I'll be back soon, okay?" Iso kind of nods. "Okay." And then she'll go stand next to Claire and Rhea.
And Rhea will head out of the mansion because we're technically on a different plane right now.
Mm-hmm. So, anyone else going with Claire, Rhea, and Shala?
It's a lot of spells already.
Mm-hmm.
Teleport can take up to 9 people.
Yeah,
right?
eight. The caster and 8 more.
Okay.
Amelia will stay behind.
I'm Weary will stay because she's expecting to receive more scrolls.
Mm-hmm.
Robin looks to Isolanda. "Do you want me to go with your sister or stay here with you?"
She looks around, looks at Robin. "I don't want you to go. But, Robin, would you look after my sister for me?"
Gets a very stern look and nods, and will kiss her head and hand her over to Miri, and we'll give them all one last, and we'll walk out the door. He'll go stand himself right next to Claire.
She'll give you a grin.
Yeah, Weary will come out with you. She'll just be out of the mansion. And look you all over. Do be careful, please. And if you can, please make sure Cressida's eating and sleeping.
Right. Well then, here goes.
You have one to get there and one to get back, right?
Yeah, 2.
Okay.
So she will use sending and contact her mother, saying, "Can you get Sebastian and Cressida to meet with you in her office? Some of us will be arriving soon. Very soon."
You hear a response back, "Her office? I mean, we're in the Dead Warrens, but we can all be in one spot, if that's what you need."
Does Rhea know where the Dead Warrens is?
I don't think Rhea's ever been to the Dead Warrens.
So she'd kind of look around to everyone. Does anyone know where the Dead Warrens is?
That's the graveyard.
Had
Graveyard on the
Robin-
south of town. Quite a
Um,
walk from Sister Unfortunately.
Robin, roll me a knowledge history check. Let's see if you've ever gone there.
Okay. I like dead things. Dead things are cool.
Sure they are. Oh, wow.
Ooh.
Robin, when you first got to Corvosa, you heard about the Dead Warrens. And when exploring, it's in the gray sector of the temple. It is a set of catacombs underneath. You didn't explore too far, as you found that they were inhabited by undead, the non-intelligent variety, and decided, better to retreat than to face the flesh golem that you saw there. But you've been there. You're very familiar with it.
Okay. Robin will hold out a hand. And he'll smile and say, I can get us there. We might want to avoid the flesh golem, but
That sounds fun.
Right.
Are you guys going
Well-
to the? Are you guys going to go see Rio's family, or are you going to go see Cressida? I think they're in two different places.
No,
in
they're all in the same
all
place.
in
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. All right, gotcha.
So, Robin can use the scrolls, right? So she would
Mhm.
hand them over. So you know where we're going.
so he will open the scroll and stand very close to make sure everyone is huddled in and cast the spell, taking those who volunteered to go.
Okay. Roll me a D100, Robin.
Yeah! Oh, my luck.
So, on a 25 through 100, you're on target.
Oh,
Thank
Robin!
You trust in his rules, guys. His rules. We need to repeat this.
Well, I mean, if it
Dude's
was
cursed.
on the bright side, if Rhea had tried to do that, it would have been 74 to 100 to be on target.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
He's a little surprised himself it worked when they come out.
Mhm.
Like, oh, we're not in some weird place. Alright.
Just like, oh, I wasn't expecting that to work. And everyone else is just like, wait, what?
Yeah, he totally says it. Looks a little surprised, smiles at everyone, puts the other scroll in his bag.
Oh.
All right, give me a second here.
Guys, I'm not a wizard. I just read a lot.
Uno momento.
No.
So I have to prep this because I didn't expect you guys to actually just straight teleport there immediately. That's fine. Robin, you teleport them to basically the first large chamber, as you didn't make it too much further than that. Let me grab your tokens real quick. So the people who went were, and I'll drag all of you over so you can see, of course. But the people who went were Shala, Robin, of course, Rhea, and Claire, correct?
And me.
And Aras.
Oh, you went?
Yeah.
I must have missed that.
Claire, gotcha. All right.
I'm just silently tagging along.
Leaving a Ross alone to watch the baby, that's fine. God, not even gonna take care of your own sister.
You all teleport. There's a flash of magic on the ground as Robin finishes reading the scroll, and you all disappear and reappear in what looks to be a cave that is part natural and part worked. You are surrounded by 4 pillars. There are soft torches lighting the walls, casting a dim light around. You don't see anyone here, but Robin, you are sure this is the entrance to the Dead Hollows.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh man.
Boy.
I look around for tracks on the ground, or looks like some people have gone the specific direction, and there's got to be people in here recently that left something. Maybe, hopefully,
Yeah, by all means.
with my 0 survival.
This actually looks fairly well traveled.
Having been here, which direction is out? North or south?
North.
Okay.
And Rhea would go ahead and use another sending. How far in are you? How do we get to you?
You hear a response. It's a maze in here. If you can get to the entrance, we can meet you there. There should be a large room when you go down the stairs with 4 large pillars.
I don't have any more.
Amazing!
Oh
my god!
I can message her.
That's amazing! We're all looking dumbfounded.
They're just like, oh, it's kind of a maze. Why don't we just meet you in the front chamber?
Well, guys, I guess they're not coming.
Damn. Yeah. Ross will use sending and message Cressida and be like, okay, we're in the front chamber. We're waiting for you.
What? We're coming, is your response.
Listen, I said we were coming soon, guys.
So, I don't actually apparently have a token for her anymore, but I do have Cressida Croft. So, after a few minutes, you hear sounds coming up from the Dead Warrens. Cressida Croft, flanked on either side by Sebastian and Rhea's mother. Rhea, I am sorry. I forgot her name. Cadence, thank you. I was desperately looking at my notes. Cadence on one side, Sebastian on the other. The 3 of them come up. And Cadence immediately walks over to Rhea and hugs her. And then to Claire and hugs her. And Sebastian nods. And Cressida goes, "It's good to see you. Where are the others?"
They stayed behind.
We're a bit time crunched on either side.
I see. I was hoping the others would come. We need a powerful team. Someone who can take them out in one shot, because I think we'll only get one.
Are you ready to do this today?
We were wondering if we could get a little bit more information on how long this would take, as we are juggling many objectives, so to speak, at this time. We need to plan our play wisely, and he will back.
Of course. Here, come with us. And they'll start leading you down into the deeper into the Dead Warrens. And sorry, give me a second, everyone. In fact, everyone, take just a minute, go grab a drink or something. My PDF just closed on me, so I'm gonna have to open it and find my Splot again.
Sure, find your spot.
My splot.
Find that spot.
I'm gonna find my splot. So everyone, roll d20s when you're back.
Bad place.
Bad memories.
Bad time.
Bad
news
memories.
bears.
You remember? Yeah, you remember this chamber, the owl bears.
I remember this entire, just all of the bad.
Do you remember the throne room? Wasn't that fun?
No.
Shops is just like a graveyard.
Ross should have stayed, so it could have been everyone who wasn't there for that. Doesn't know anything about this place.
They don't have to relive the trauma.
Robin, this place is nice. Look, they have skulls.
I also have a skull, but it's in my head.
I have a few skulls. There's the one in my head, and then there's the ones back hidden in a cave somewhere.
I'm not gonna touch that.
Ross will point out all the Shawanti symbols and elements because it used to be a Shawanti temple.
Oh man, he's so into that.
Let's go on a ghost walking tour in the graveyard.
Ross, will you take Robin on a haunted tour through the graveyard?
After this, maybe we'll get Thousand Bones down.
Okay. I mean, you're like the little sister, but he'll pretend like you're his big sister for a while if you want to try and scare him and traumatize him. Because you're really good as that with like a sister. I'd hate to neglect you then.
Actually, I think this is where Thousand Bones lost his arm, so maybe we won't be bringing him down here.
Yes, this is where he was captured and tortured and almost turned into a flesh golem.
All the more reason to bring him, help him get over his fear.
Yeah, he needs to confront his past.
It's immersion therapy.
Too bad Amelia's
That's
not here.
actually how they do immersion therapy. But yeah.
Too bad Amelia's not here because your haunts are about to come back. Rolf could visit his old stomping grounds.
Why do you think she stayed behind?
He could be like, oh, and this room is where I put the kidney then.
Oh my god, he had a kidney room?
He had a kidney room. It's very
I'm
important.
sad that I couldn't take Annika with me.
Oh, I know. Alright, hang on, I'll be right back.
Ask him to come.
Go grab a drink real quick.
I mean, she would have gone as well, but also he can follow her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would think she's a little more capable of mentally dealing with him than Amelia at this time.
I mean, yes, but also there's the possibility that he would just be left alone with Amelia.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody
Make
wins.
one hurt the other one. No, there's no win in this situation.
So literally just both sisters have to suffer. It's fine.
Yeah. We'll survive this.
The fuck? Chris, you okay?
Knock alarm.
What the hell did I come back to?
Not
You
sure.
don't know.
Who was that coming from?
Chris,
Sorry.
you okay?
Yeah. Sorry about that. I accidentally set the alarm off. I didn't know Tabashi said it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, sure, blame it on your wife.
Well, yeah.
It's okay, I do the same thing with Delilah. It's fine.
Wow, that's crazy.
I love you.
No, you don't!
I agreed to marry you, you coward.
Wait, what?
Jade always loves you, no matter what. Not like
want
that deep, passionate kind of love. But it's there. Always there. right next to you.
And that's why we stow her away.
Uh-huh. And that's why Jade goes in the Jade box. No, not the Jade box.
Anything but that.
There's a box for.
Don't worry.
Actually, I think last session was the first time Jade hasn't been attached to Jalen or Irina for like 20 years.
It was really quiet for a while.
Uh-huh. I wonder what they were doing. They're probably just talking. That's
Right?
probably what they're doing.
It's been a while. I hope you didn't forget about me.
Oh, no, wait. That's not quite true. Didn't someone drop Jade on the floor all night? I think so. I don't remember. But I think Jade spent...
Without being picked up.
Yeah, I think Jade went for a while on the floor. This is fine. They'll notice eventually.
Yeah, I know Thea had you and then didn't want you. So
Yeah.
she just let you lay there.
Oh, man. Everyone back? I only see 2 roll 20s. Or d20s. Alright. Perfect. So, now that I have my my stuff back up, Cressida and the others guide you through the halls of the Dead Hollows, and I am going to just leave you here instead of making you guys just trudge through the maze that is this dungeon. But I will describe what you see. The corridors are now brightly lit, Aras. From what you remember, you had to bring your own light, but now there are torches everywhere. And as you pass, you see dozens and dozens of Crimson Guard and Rhea, several paladins you know dressed as Crimson Guard. They are all tired. Some are eating, some are resting, many are injured. You pass far too many people with bandages on them. And we're talking paladins here. The atmosphere is somber as you make your way towards a meeting room where, as you enter, you see a figure sitting there at a table. A rather large man, a bald head, and a portly belly. He is dressed in fine silks with what looks to be like a leather collar with some fashionable spikes on it. He is partly bald. He has a double chin, and his eyebrows seem permanently drawn into a concerned or suspicious expression. As Cressida comes in, she goes, "Booley, we have some guests." Also, I should note, Cressida looks very tired. As does Sebastian Cadence.
Billy's daughter anywhere?
Nope.
Haven't just made a point to look.
No daughters that you're aware of. And Cressida will motion for everyone to have a seat. And Booley looks around. What? This is it? A drow and 4 girls? You think that's going to be enough to take this? And
And spelling.
Claire stands up. Excuse me. And Cadence raises a hand. No. They're here for information so that we can plan accordingly. Booley shrugs. So I'm guessing you want me to explain it again. And through literal gritted teeth, Cressida says, "If you would be so kind." Yes, well, let me get to the point. And he'll turn and address you all. We may operate on different sides of the law, but we can agree that Iosa is not good for Corvosa. I want her gone as much as you, and while I feel that neither I nor my associates are the right ones for the task, you such brave and noble adventurers, have proven time and time again that you are precisely what Corvosa needs. You cured the plague. You assaulted and took down the Arconas, a deed I didn't think was possible, and even burned out one of my competitors at Eel's End. Without the Grey Maidens to police the streets or the Red Mantis to stalk the alleys, Eos's grip on Corvosa will slip. Yet, in their fortress at the Longacre building, the Red Mantis and the Grey Maidens are bolstered against attack, and many who work within the building may yet be innocent, forced to comply with the Queen against their will. But, as it happens, I know of a back door to the chambers below. I know the secret to Death Head Vault.
And that would be?
He goes, in times past, the Cerulean Society, I'm sure you've heard of us. Robin, you would know at the very least, or Ross, you too. That's what the Thieves Guild calls itself. Rhea, you may not be aware of it.
Rhea's just like, I've never heard of it.
He seems like affronted. It's the Thieves Guild. I'm the Thieves Guild. The Cerulean Society.
She's a paladin. Robin shakes his head.
I'm not from Corvosa.
He actually looks at Robin and then nods in understanding. The Cerulean Society has on occasion explored the underworkings of Corvosa for our activities. We came across a small tribe of Duro who used to inhabit the caves underneath Death Head's vault, which, as you know, is a prison below Longacre building. Death's Head Vault's guards thought that they had closed off all the tunnels, but the Duro had reopened one in particular that escaped their notice. And over the years, the Cerulean Society had been paid substantial amounts of money to, on occasion, smuggle out some of the more affluential prisoners of Death Head's Vault and replace them with someone who would be less missed. And Cressida is fuming during this explanation. And he'll see it and he'll say, "Oh, my dear Cressida, don't get mad at me that I do my job too well. After all, we're on the same side now." Cressida says nothing. So, as I'm sure Cressida will be more than happy to tell you, her forces are being pressed. And I have the means to get you in to strike at the heart, to relieve the pressure on the city and the good captain, and perhaps even to save the city and free us all.
If I could, and Robin looks to Rhea and Shala for permission to talk.
Rhea just nods, watching.
He'll step up and be like, "So, you don't happen to have any idea how many forces are in there, or where this vault pops out at, if it's like an unprotected lower chamber? If the forces are higher up, I imagine you haven't wasted any of your men looking into any of that."
I can tell you what to expect up until you actually enter the caves below Death Head's vault. Most of it is abandoned tunnelways, sewers. It is a maze, and even with a guide, it will take you more than 2 days to traverse it, as it loops and curves and turns on purpose. Once you get to the door in question that I will guide you to, you will be let into the underbelly of Death Head's vault. a cleared networks of tunnels and caves used, well, by us in the past. We were kicked out violently by the Red Mantis. Now, beyond that point, I don't know what to expect, but I can tell you that this is for sure the headquarters of both the Grey Maidens and the Red Mantis, as my spies have tracked both back to that building time and time again. A direct attack on it would be suicidal, they'd expect it, but no one knows of this passageway. You can come up behind them and catch them off guard. As far as their numbers go, I believe you should be talking to their captain about that.
He looks over towards Cressida.
We don't know for sure. Our best estimates are that there are more than 200 Grey Maidens and 30 or so Red Mantises. But you would not be facing that many. The truth be told, we would have done this ourselves, but you saw on your way here. We are getting pounded. Red Mantises ambush us at every corner, and the Grey Maidens have been fighting an underground proxy war, and we have been losing. I don't know how, I don't know where they came from, but these Grey Maidens are far more trained than my soldiers. The simple truth is, we are doing everything we can to keep the streets from all-out lockdown. We just don't have the power to do this. That is why we thought of you.
Rhea shakes her head. They're not actual Grey Maidens.
I don't understand.
And she would sort of eye this thief guy whose name is already out of my head.
Bully. Hey, I understand.
I'm sorry, Robin's not subtle and just like opens his arms wide, like, look at me. Hope she gets it, but he doesn't say anything. He's just totally not subtle about it. He's like, what are we hiding? It's dumb.
Well, give me a second. She looks at you. Drow. You're saying the Grey Maidens are Drow. That would make sense. The few that we have killed have been carried off before we could investigate. If they have been replaced by Drow, it would make sense that they are doing everything they can to hide their identity, and it would explain why my guards are outmatched. I don't know much about the Underdark, and she looks to Robin, but I have heard tales.
It's probably worse than you've heard. Gives dismissive hand.
If you can assault Deathhead's vault, I will gather what forces we can and cause a distraction up above. Up until now, we've been fighting a guerrilla war, a proxy battle, too afraid to openly revolt against Iosa. But this is an opportunity we cannot pass up, and as good a time as any to openly revolt. We will draw out as many as we can, and leave you to take out their leaders.
Robin's taking notes. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Rhea would nod. Well, you've been taking down some of their side. I assume it's been... She would sort of grimace, reciprocated. She'd look between Cressida and her mother. How bad are we?
Sebastian would just look at you and shake his head. And then he would push his glasses up and say, "We are... The numbers change daily as we heal what we can. It's hard to keep paladins down for long, but at any one time, we are perhaps at 40% effectiveness. The simple truth is that with the exception of some of our more trained paladins, the Guard are no match for what they're facing. These red mantis, they are like shadows. They strike unseen and they cut down handfuls before we even know they're there. And the Grey Maidens, in the few upstanding fights we have faced them in, we've held our own, but never given as good as we've gotten. We are bleeding, Rhea. And if we don't move soon and strike hard somehow, the rebellion will be over before it's even started."
And she'd simply look at him and nod slowly.
Cressida will say, if we do this, I can suspend activities for a couple of days. Give us time to heal up as many as we can, to create as big of an opening volley, I guess you could say, as we can. To draw out as much as we can. But these caves are not big, and a large force is not ideal for this. We need something small, fast, and something that can hit very hard.
If we talk to the others, we could probably respond tomorrow and give you a number of days until we arrive. That should be enough, hopefully, to bolster your forces to give us the best chance.
She nods, looks at Bruli, and Bruli shrugs. I can't promise they won't find the door, but you didn't, and we used it for years. And he smiles at her, and, her face darkens. It's very clear Cressida does not like this guy.
For a while, though, and he'll look towards Bully, you'll keep the tunnels clear of your people so it does not draw attention, correct?
Yes. In return for certain concessions, i.e., he looks back to Cressida. When Eosa is removed from the throne, the Cruelian society operates unchecked. And Cressida looks up. Never! And he shrugs. And looks back to Robin. You see how difficult they can be to work with. Their whole city crumbles around them, and they're worried about the rather mundane, by comparison, workings of a thieves' guild.
Robin stands up and put a finger on his chin and thinks about it. And he says, unchecked isn't...
Uh-oh.
You cut out there.
Wings! No! It's okay, she'll be back.
Testing.
Hello!
Hello.
Hello.
He will put a finger on his chin and kind of pace around and pretend like he's thinking about it. Be like, well, uncheck's not good for anyone because you always need a little bit pressure on your men and they get sloppy and things get around, stuff gets stolen, and again, that lowers the market vastly if things are left unchecked, as people are less concerned about being caught about things and go to other sources. It might be better to bargain with her. I mean, still function, but who's to say there can't be a good agreement that's met? One that is more profitable, perhaps? Sure. I can think of a city called Vetton's Hold that seems to function like that.
Bruli considers your words. Roll me a persuasion with advantage, Robin. I know, but I gave you advantage. It's the best I can do.
I know.
I got nothing else to give you.
With guidance.
Shala can give you inspiration.
Can I give him guidance?
Yes, so guidance and inspiration from Shala.
With my -1 and 11.
Okay, with advantage though. Roll one more time.
Okay. 8.
Okay, 18 plus. What's Shawl at now? D8.
D8.
Okay, so that's 21. That's good. Now roll a D4.
Thanks for carrying me, bro.
Okay, 24, Robin. There you go. That curse can't hold you back forever. Not with the power of friendship.
Friendship is the only thing saving him from his curse. Bad roll.
Booley considers it for a moment. Very well. We will do what we can to keep the tunnels clear, and I will provide you a guide to guide you through the tunnels. In return, once Iosa is off the throne, a full pardon for everyone of the Crulian Society. Cressida's mouth drops. Absolutely. And Cadence puts a hand on her shoulder. She looks back around. A full pardon for everyone up until this day. And assurances that you will let us operate. And assurances that you will be able to operate illegal smuggling trade that does not involve slaves unopposed. Booley smiles. See? That wasn't so bad, was it? I'll uphold my end of the bargain. Just tell me when. And don't wait too long. And he'll walk out of the room. Cressida punches a wall. The number of murderers that will walk free from this.
Well, you can have murderers, or everyone in your city can die. It's easier to handle murderers than I think it is the queen at this point. Little quotations. Sorry. And he'll step right back behind Rhea.
We need to think about the lives lost if we don't agree to his demands.
I know.
And at least, I mean, leopards don't change their spots. They did something illegal and got caught to get thrown in here in the first place. They'll do it again.
Cressida takes a moment to gather herself. And then just looks tired. And rubs a hand over her face. We'll need time to prepare. A few days at least. And it will take you 2 days to traverse the tunnels if Booley can be believed.
It'll take us 2 days just to go through the tunnels.
She nods. That's why we were never able to find them. There's no way we could map that tunnel system. Maybe the were-rats could, but... She shrugs. Even they don't know as much as he does. And she kind of shrugs. Trust me. I asked.
Can we do 4 days?
Cressida will take a seat. Take what time you need. Booley is an ass. But he knows this is in his best interest. 4 days, 5, 6, a week. We'll hold. And we'll make sure we're ready. Just let me know a few days beforehand. Actually, no. While you're traveling through the tunnels, I'll suspend activity. I can't imagine what devastation that's going to cause up above, but it's necessary. Just let me know when you're coming. And come prepared. He wasn't joking, and she looks at Sebastian. They are a force to contend with, and we have no idea what waits for you in there.
We'll prepare as we can then and try to get done as quickly as possible.
She nods. Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't even think to ask. How is it going? How are you all? How's Murray?
We seem to be doing better than you. We're making progress.
And how's my foolish sergeant?
He's making friends.
Robin makes a sound and looks away.
He's well.
Fitting right in with the group. Doing an excellent job.
She nods. As undisciplined as he can be, I hope he's of aid. Is there anything else I can do for you? Do you need food, rest?
Do you? Sorry, Weary said to... I'm sorry.
Yes. If you could do me a kindness and tell her that I am doing well, it will spare me the lecture later.
She also wants to make sure you're sleeping. And does she have like dark circles under her eyes?
Of course, she looks very tired.
So no.
No. Cressida shakes her head. Mary doesn't understand the realities of running a rebellion. I could sleep and watch her city fall around me as I did it. Tell her I am fine. That is the truth, at least.
Right.
Oh, my brother is apparently down here somewhere, fighting against, my brother, William Osler. He was killed 5 years ago, and I think he was raised 4 years and a few months ago by Gadrian and Rolth. I don't know what exactly he's doing down here, but
William Osler?
we might have some friends on the inside, I hope.
I'm sorry, I don't know anyone by that name. And she looks to Cadence, and Cadence shakes her head. None of
don't
mine.
think you would. He was just a university student.
But you say he's down here.
I think he's working on the inside.
The only people down here are Crimson Guard and Paladins. Well, I suppose there's the medic.
Who?
There was someone. When Bruley came to us with this information, obviously we wanted him to prove it. He did, by smuggling someone out of Deathhead's vault. The person was... they are unable to speak. They are blind. And, never were able to tell us their name. They have been here for a few days. They don't know any magic, but they seem to understand the healing arts well enough. they've been helping. I can take you to them. They're the only other person down here I don't know their name of.
Yes, please.
She'll nod, and she will take you down a couple of corridors. And will take you to a room and knock on the wall, as there's no doors in here, not in this section. And you see someone clothed in what looks to be like beige clothes. A white mask on their face that completely hides it. It looks up. I'm sorry. I have someone here who might want to speak with you. And she'll motion for you.
You don't know me. Well, you did, maybe. Did you... Do you know the Ostlers?
Its head looks up, and it slowly makes its way to a desk. And in a hand that is missing 2 fingers, it takes a pen and begins to write, and holds up a sheet of paper and says, I am an ostler. And Aras, because it's now afternoon, you feel a presence form behind you.
Oh.
Robin, you feel a presence form behind you as well.
He just reaches his hand back.
Robin, where are we?
He will slowly slide a little bit away from that doorway. He's gonna keep listening in, but we're in some sort of vault cemetery, kind of in the city of Curvosa, right?
What? Where is Isolanda?
She's back with Muri. I wasn't gonna bring her back to the city, and I'm the only one who can cast the teleport.
Why are we here then?
We're getting information before we do something really stupid and start taking out the forces of the Red Mantis and the Grey Maiden.
Robin! She just kind of tightens her lips as obviously there's other things going on. She just crosses her arms. Back at the door, he's holding up a sign that says, I am an ostler. What is this? Who is this? The head looks up as in recognition. And slowly the hand reaches up and pulls off the white mask. You see a horribly mutilated face that has long since healed into a massive scar tissue. The eyes are, or the eye sockets are eyeless. The mouth has no tongue. Roll me a medicine check, Aras. And anyone else who is proficient in it that's here.
Ooh, damn.
Oh, damn.
Aras.
I don't want to know.
Oh, wow, Rhea.
You really wanted to know, actually.
This is not the act of one wounding or spell or damage. This is torture. Extreme torture. But it is unmistakably the face of William Ostler.
If you're really him. You'll be able to tell me who was the author of Arlen's favorite bedtime stories when she was a kid.
The head cocks to the side a little, and a small smile. There's a scratching as it writes something, and holds up a page. It says, "Why me? Of course." And then, who are you?
I'm your sister. Well, I was. I was Arlen. But, I can see time has changed us both.
William Osler walks forward, feeling his way around until he can get to you and feels you, and goes down to a knee and hugs you. What have they done to my boy? My sweet boy.
Russ will just break down crying and keep telling him it's okay. She's got him now. She'll keep him safe.
Cressida quietly from behind. We didn't know. Buuli's men found him in Death's Head Vault, languishing away. He wrote to us, told us that he was forced to work on a plague, that he tried to resist, but... And she doesn't finish. And then he was left there to rot.
Can we take him back with us?
William's head lifts up and cocks to the side curiously. My boy. They ruined my boy.
Rhea? Robin?
That's not my decision to make.
Robin nods. That's his choice. Does he want to stay here and continue to help them, or does he want to come stay with us?
Rhea, you're a paladin.
I am, yes.
You only sense one undead standing right next to you. Robin.
Nani the fuck?
Which means that this William is alive.
You're right.
Sorry, say that again?
Your brother's alive.
Yeah.
Like, not undead.
Yeah.
Probably resurrected to help finish the plague. As after all, Aras, you'll recall, he was studying it in the first place.
Mm-hmm. All of which she will tell him once she, stops crying. Oh, does he look like there are any active injuries?
No. This is the tricky part. All the damage that's been done to him was long healed before he was found. He was left in that cell to rot
Yeah.
And you can't heal scar tissue. There's some things you might be able to do, but
And if he wants to stay here, we can always bring Murray to him. Robin kind of rubs his back. Kind of a miracle worker. She can heal dead things. God knows what she can touch and make better.
Well, William, do you want to finally leave the city?
he will go back to the desk and write something. You hear your father quietly sobbing behind you as if he's completely broken down. And again, Ross, this makes sense to you. William was his son, his pride and joy.
And Ross will just kind of reach out to, like, pat her father and say, it's okay, we have him back.
Shush! Should have been you. Not my boy.
Yeah.
I would ask you kindly to not talk to my friend like that.
Robin's growling.
Doesn't seem to faze him. William holds up a note towards you, Ross. I'm so sorry. I left you alone.
I'm the one that left. I knew there was something wrong. I knew that I couldn't get past that day. I kept dreaming about you. Like I was stuck and I couldn't move past, and that was just because I don't know, part of me kind of knew that's where I lost you. And that maybe if I kept trying, I could find you.
There's more writing on the paper. It takes a bit longer this time. And then holds it up. And of course the handwriting is, as pro to William, exquisitely good. Even with missing fingers and not being able to see, his notes were always well written. I am slow and cannot see or talk, but hold my hand, and I will never leave you alone again.
I think I know somebody who might be able to help. I mean, after all, he was able to regrow an arm. He might be able to help with an eyes or a tongue. Do you want to leave with us? We can't stay. We have business with the Shuanti.
His face cocks to the side, and then just writes a question mark.
I can fill you in on the details later.
He nods, and then begins scribbling down something, and holds up a note that says, Dear Cressida Croft, I hope that I have been some help these past few days, but I regret to inform you that my duties take me elsewhere. Cressida almost like smiles and kind of holds back a surprised laugh and, Of course. And then William will put the mask back on and begin gathering what meager belongings they have. From behind Rhea, you feel a hand on your shoulder. Claire says, Rhea, I can't go back. You saw how badly our brothers and sisters are struggling. They need me. I've faced the Red Mantis. I know how they think.
And Ria would nod and smile. I kind of thought you might say that. Wait, Ross, can I see the bag for a moment?
Sure.
And Rio would pull out the red mantis armor that we have. I don't know if it might help or anything, but I have managed to get this.
Sebastian looks up at it. You got one. Every single time we've managed to kill even one or two, they disappear. In mist. Yes, this could help immensely. We haven't been able to study it at all. Oh, sister, you impress.
She just blushes a little and shrugs.
Claire will squeeze your shoulder and say, finish earning the respect of them. And come back soon.
We will.
She nods. Walks past Rhea to Robin. Grabs him by the scruff of the neck, bends him down, and kisses him very deeply.
Yes.
And you, my little drow, don't go getting yourself even more killed.
There's just a wide purple-faced smile on his face, and he'll nod very slowly and will kind of cough and clear his throat and said, You got to that first. That's all right. Yeah, I won't die. And I'll see you after this, I guess. And just totally like, what just happened to me? Like, red and purple and stumbling. If he's led out of the room, it'll be done so backwards.
Back at the Shawanti tribe, Miri, Isolanda all of a sudden is just like,
Oh no!
Are you alright, Jim?
I just suddenly felt very confused and extremely happy.
Well, I wonder what that's from.
And back to Death Head Vault. I'm sorry, not back to the Dead Warrens. So, we can go ahead and actually end this session here. I assume you guys are about to make your way back, yes? Is there anything else you need to do?
I just wanted to talk to Shala real quick and maybe her family. But, I mean, if we want to...
No, you by all means, you can. I'd like to end the session like with you guys about to go back.
Okay. So, while everyone was talking and going over William and everything, she would have pulled Shala aside a bit. I know it's not exactly a good time, I guess, but if we're planning on things being basically once this is over, then I guess they should know before that, and I don't know how much more hectic all of this is going to get. Um, and only Claire knows at the moment. Sorry, what I am trying to just ask is, should we tell Sebastian and my mother that we're engaged now, or, um...
Hi, I was muted. I'm sorry. She
awkward staring.
she looks at you and says, "Do you think that would brighten their mood?"
Well, I would hope it would not have the opposite effect. She sort of awkwardly rubs back her neck.
She nods. Then let's tell them. I have nothing to hide. Well, actually, I do have a few things to hide, Rhea, if you could not tell them everything. But engagement, yes.
She nods. That's all I planned for right now. Everything else is up to you.
She nods.
Well then, and she would try and get a moment with Sebastian and her mom. And Claire, I guess, if possible, but she already
sure.
knows, so it's not as big.
But Claire's there.
Mm-hmm.
Claire's there because she cares.
Oh boy.
How are you, Rhea? Are you eating all right? Julian's been asking about you.
Yes. We've been fine thus far.
She nods.
Well, I know, when last we were at the castle, things were a bit more unsaid, I suppose. She looks over at Shala. But
she nods.
But, Shala and I are engaged.
She looks back and forth. Engaged? But so soon? I mean, Shala, dear, and Claire comes up, Mother. And she looks at Claire. They're fighting a war, Mother. Maybe taking their time isn't the best option. Oh. Of course. And she'll look at Rhea. Of course. Rhea. Oh, my Rhea. If it's what you want, I am nothing but happy for you.
It is. And she would smile over at Shala.
Shala smiles back. Cadence will then hug you and then walk over and hug Shala and say, "Welcome to the family." Shala smiles and hugs back. And Sebastian comes up and puts an arm around you and ruffles your hair. Well, I always figured I'd be the last one. I guess I'm still on track for that at least.
Speaking of, I believe I heard from two little birds while we were still there that there's a girl.
Things have been very busy lately, and I have had my minds focused on tactics and strategy, so I haven't really thought about her every night.
Yeah.
Kind of blushes. She may be close by.
Do I know her?
You, may have trained together. And you hear like a bark of a laugh from across the hall as Claire's just like, "What?" Sebastian just kind of blushes and looks away. "Look, I'm very busy. Lots of things to do. You're busy too. It's really good to see you, sister. Be careful. Don't get killed. Come back soon."
She'll nod and smile. I'll be back soon. And I'll expect a name. And she'll start walking away back towards the group.
Gotcha. Is there anything else any of you need to do before you head back? There's one more thing I wanted to cover on the session. But if you have anything, by all means.
Yes.
Yes.
Ross wants to send Thousand Bones a message.
Okay.
And it'll be, I have my brother William. He needs the same magic healing you had after last leaving Corvosa. Either killing a worm or a bird, or a rock next.
There's a message that returns. That type of healing is not easy. But anything for my daughter. And good luck. William starts, puts a hand on your shoulder so that you can guide him, the mask back on. And you all make your way back out. Robin. Oof. Namara has just been seething quietly after Claire.
Cat. Makes no comment on it. But he'll be like, ready to go back to Isolanda?
I suppose. Are you? You sure you wouldn't want to spend the night? It's not like you have more important things to do.
That can wait till after all this.
Of course. And almost flip of a switch, tries to slide a hand into yours. Robin.
Yeah.
You know I've never begrudged you your distractions. But really, she is very important. Which, by the way, she has begrudged you your distractions on quite a few times.
Yeah, I know. He will nod and say, I've kept my feeling on her, and I still have Vertigar with her. She's being checked on every few moments. If I needed to, And he will drop his voice so that no one else can hear him. I would have left them here and gone to her, helped her, and came back for them later. I have my priorities.
Good. I never doubted you.
He won't comment on that and will just nod.
You, read the teleport scroll back.
Yeah.
You guys reappear. And just for a bit of dramatic flavor, that took almost an hour. A little less. You appear. Murray, they have come back minus Claire and with a new person. But right before they came back, as you're standing outside as the hour is almost up, there is a small pop. And then a pop, 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 pop. And you can feel it from the amulet.
Oh, okay. I'll put it on the ground.
And the third pop. And Baboon stands before you. Roll me
Look okay?
2 things for me.
Yes.
Roll me a D100 and roll me a 1D4 plus 2.
Here's the D100. 55. D4 plus 2. 5.
Okay. Baboon appears in front of you. He stands with an arm around a case, a small leather case, and another arm in his robes. One of his eyes closed shut with swelling, one of his horns missing, and
Ooh.
a hole that seems to have been healed somewhat in his left shoulder.
Oh, Murray's gonna drop probably a 2nd level cure wounds on him.
Ah, oh, thank you. A bit
What
afraid.
happened? Are you alright?
Me? Mary. You asked and I delivered. I could sing. And he hands you a case of 5 teleport scrolls. And then he sits down on the ground.
She takes the case and she sets to the side and she sits down next to him. They are not worth your safety.
No. No, they are not. And he puts a hand on the side of your face. But your needs are. Besides, they were held by bad people anyway. This is as much enjoyment to me as anything. How do you say, sticking the thumb in the eye of old co-workers?
Ah, the people you left behind.
Yes.
Well, should they ever come knocking, you know you have new friends to back you.
Oh. Oh, you need not worry about that one, sweet one. I left no one left but to come knocking. Well, if you don't mind, I feel like a little bit of rest is in order. I could return to the shop. I am, as always, your faithful merchant, happy to help.
She nods slowly. And turns around. I'm afraid I don't have much to offer you here, but you can rest until the others get back. If you are still hurting.
Oh,
She looks very concerned.
he looks at her. Yes. Hurting. Oh, Mary, my soul could soar. But my body is still strong. So, I'll take you up on the offer. And we'll stand up. And do me a medicine check.
24.
His robes conceal more than they usually do. You're no newbie to this kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
A partial side of his body looks like it's been hit with some sort of necrotic spell that has dried and shriveled up his skin.
Alright.
It's nothing that you can't heal,
Mm-hmm.
but it's there.
With a 24, approximately how much damage is that?
I mean, you could say about 55 points of damage-ish, give or take.
Okay.
Look what you've done.
Cool. Well, I can crank these out as a bonus action. Here's 22. Here's 17.
So you heal him, and you bring him inside. Of course, he's incredibly grateful and out of his own healing, obviously. And we'll say that as you are carrying him inside, helping him go inside, he loops an arm around you. The others pop back into existence, and we'll end the session there. You all appear. Murray, you look up, you see Claire is missing, and a new stranger has appeared. The rest of you see Murray holding a leather scroll case in one arm, and a baboon who is missing one of his horns in the other arm. And we'll pick up there next session.
What have you done to your boyfriend?
Oh man, Yuri, how
I
could you?
didn't do anything to him.
You're the one that sent him out.
I mean, he looks better than Aras's brother, at least.
Oof.
Oh, that.
Oh.
Oh,
Bye, everyone!
dude.